Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I just got here to Pendleton, Indiana. So this video will be about Pendleton, Indiana. Now, of course, I got a traffic light, which always makes things fun. Alright, folks. I'm now in Pendleton, Indiana, and we're gonna take a little drive through the downtown area, and then we'll continue on from that point forward. Now, Pendleton, Indiana has a population of 4,451 people. The population density is 365 people. And right now, the median home price is at $237,000. And right now, the cheapest home that I've seen on the MLS that's up for sale is for sale at $139,000. Now, I will tell you, folks, that right now, there's not a whole lot of houses that are currently up for sale here in Pendleton. I mean, Pendleton is one of those areas where the amount of people who want to live here is in pretty high demand. At least right now it is. Now, I don't know if the census has their information off or what, or maybe they're on the money, but the population here in Pendleton apparently has been decreasing by 3.4% as of the 2020 census, which surprises me. I mean, I thought the population here in Pendleton was getting bigger, not smaller. So I gotta say, I'm a bit surprised to see that the population has gotten smaller as opposed to getting bigger. I'm gonna try something here for you folks. I'm gonna try to turn this camera a little bit so y'all can, see the houses a little better. Anyways, now, just for laughs and giggles, I went through the MLS on Realtor.com and looked through houses that are currently for sale. And I will say there's quite a few houses that are currently pending. In fact, the majority of the houses that are currently for sale here in Pendleton are pending. And I looked up to the price range of $300,000. So the census may report that the population here in Pendleton has shrunk of 3.4% as of 2020. But when you look at the housing market around here, when you look at the MLS, it's going to be hard to tell. And, the median home price here is $237,000. So that just goes to let you know that housing here in Pendleton is not by any means cheap for Indiana anyway. I mean, I guess if you're coming from the West Coast or the Northeast, housing here is dirt cheap. But if you're like me, you're from the Midwest, or if you're from Indiana, you'll realize that $237,000 as a median home price is not cheap. Now, Pendleton basically is a suburban. It's not considered the suburbs, but it does have that suburban / small community feel to it. So, if you're wanting to move to Indiana, or you already live in Indiana, and you want to live in the suburbs but can't quite afford any of the suburbs in Hamilton County, or can't afford any of the suburbs south of Indianapolis, such as places like Plainfield or Greenwood, then my advice to you would be to come and check out Pendleton. I will say Pendleton, the housing here in Pendleton is definitely going to be cheaper than places like Noblesville or Carmel or Fishers or even Westfield. Now, I'm going to drive around the downtown area for a minute here. I was going to do that a second ago, but I just kind of got sidetracked, I guess. But I'm in downtown Pendleton, so I'm going to just kind of drive around downtown for a minute. But yeah, so if you're looking to buy a house in the suburbs but can't quite afford the suburbs, come to Pendleton. Here in Pendleton, you got a mixture of suburban and small town. And for those of you that don't know Indiana, Pendleton is real close, like within a half hour of a lot of larger communities. Like I would say time-wise, you're going to be around 15 minutes away from Anderson, Indiana. I got several videos from Anderson, go check them out. So if you need to go somewhere where you have more amenities, you can go to Anderson. You can go to Anderson, which is about a 15-minute drive, give or take. Or you can go to Noblesville, which is about once again, you're looking at about a 15-minute drive, give or take. Indianapolis from here is going to be, I want to say, about a 35 to 40-minute drive, depending on what side of Indy you're going to go to. And I guess depending on how fast you drive, and also depends on the traffic. But I want to say, if you're wanting to go to Indianapolis, you're looking at around a 35-minute drive or so. Well, I told you guys I was going to go through downtown Pendleton. I changed my mind. I will go back to downtown Pendleton a little later. But for now, I just want to drive through some of these areas of Pendleton that are a little less crowded. Now, to be quite frank, I never spent any significant amount of time here in Pendleton. Never had the reason to. I mean, I've been here numerous times, but never took the time to actually drive through the community because I never had a reason to. Now I realize that some of you that are currently watching this channel are probably thinking about moving to Indiana, or you might be in Indiana already. And you may not want to live in any of the smaller communities I've done videos on. You may not want to be in the metro either. You might want to be in the suburbs. So, for those of you that want to live in the suburbs, but can't quite afford them, like I said, come check out Pendleton. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. I mean, Pendleton is very close to many of your suburbs. You're only a half hour outside of Indianapolis. You're only 15 minutes away from the city of Anderson. So there's plenty of larger communities that are within a half hour of here that you can go to if Pendleton doesn't have what you want or what you need. Now the housing market here is pretty hot, so if you're wanting to buy a house here in Pendleton, you better act quick, because if you don't, you will miss out. Now, here's a little bit of history of Pendleton. Now, a man by the name of John Rogers was the first native settler here in Pendleton in 1818, who built his home near the Fall Creek. Now, Pendleton became a community in 1830, which Pendleton was named after Thomas Pendleton. I'm just reading my notes here. That's why I keep stalling out here. I'm reading my notes. Now, Pendleton, Indiana was also the first community here in the United States, apparently, to where if the white man, I try to look for a more politically correct way to say white man, but if the white man did anything to the Native Americans here at that time, Pendleton, Indiana was the first community to give capital punishments to anyone that caused harm to Native Americans. Now, there is the Fall Creek Massacre that went on. That was here in Pendleton, or it was close by. There's a Fall Creek Massacre that went on. And during that massacre, there were 3 peaceful protesters that were beaten to death, basically. And ever since that occurred, when that occurred, that's when Pendleton put it into law at that time that if the white man did anything to the Native Americans, then that individual would be subject to capital punishments. Now, Thomas Pendleton moved here in 1825. And 5 years later, Pendleton became a city, which was named after Thomas Pendleton. I mean, I told you that a minute ago, but I didn't tell you the full history. Now, there's quite a bit of history here in Pendleton, which I didn't write it all down because, you know, like I told you guys before, I have a hard time driving and reading at the same time. Now, there was a time when I thought about just making a whole separate video to where I do nothing but give out information, and then I'll do the actual video of the drive around. But I'm trying to work on reading my notes and at the same time driving and doing the video. That way you guys don't have to watch a video of me talking and then watch the driving around video. I want to try to put it all in one video. That way you guys can, as I drive around, as I drive around, you guys can get a visual of what I'm talking about when I tell you about these communities. Now, I will let you guys know, for those of you that are not from the area, during the work week, the traffic here in Pendleton is ridiculous. I'm going to tell you straight up that the traffic here in Pendleton during the work week is insane. The traffic here in Pendleton is just as bad as traffic in any of your suburbs. So that's another thing that you guys are going to want to know if you choose to live here. During the weekday, traffic here is going to be insane. Now this is called Falls Park. And what you guys can't see it, but right by this park is Falls Creek. Unfortunately, you can't see it in the camera. Well, this area I'm driving through right now is a National Historic District of Pendleton, Indiana. Now, every other historic district I've driven through, the houses are typically a little bigger than these ones. So I had no idea this was considered the historic district, but I just looked at the sign and this is considered the historic district of Pendleton, Indiana. And looks like they're building some new houses, or they're doing some heavy renovations, one of the two. There we go. Here's some nice older homes. Now it's starting to look more like a historic district. See, look at all this traffic even on a Sunday. So just imagine how much traffic during the week that would be out here. So yeah, if you want to move to Pendleton, this is what you're gonna be up against, traffic-wise. There's a lot of construction going on. Plus, like I said, during the week, the traffic around here is insane.